Hey crocheters, my name is Erin and I love to learn fun new crochet stitches and teach them to my crochet community. Today, I want to teach you all about the Spumoni stitch section. This is a signature pattern of mine and it combines mesh stitches with puff stitches to create these fun striped textures. Okay, so let me teach you how it's done. This is one of my signature stitches. It's called Spumoni. It's a mixture of mesh stitch and puff stitch. For this tutorial, I'm going to do 3 rows of mesh stitch and then 1 row of puff stitch, then 3 rows of mesh stitch, then 1 of puff stitch. Something to note is that the counts can get a little bit off, and it's okay if your count is off by like 1 or so. Just make sure you add it or subtract it back at the end, like if you're going to be adding this onto a different section or something like that. So here I just have a foundation row of half double crochets. You want to have an even number of foundation stitches. What I'm going to do for this first row is chain 2 and turn. We're going to skip this first stitch and work a single crochet stitch in the next one and chain 1. Skip that stitch, single crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch, single crochet, and chain 1, skip a stitch, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, skip. Then in this last stitch, you're going to do a single crochet. So that is the foundation for the mesh stitch. And now for the next row, you're going to chain 1 and turn. And now in every stitch that we have a single crochet, we're going to work a single crochet. So like this first stitch here, you're going to work a single crochet, chain 1. Okay, then we're going to skip over the chain 1 space. We're going to skip over the chain 1, and then in that single crochet, do a single crochet. Chain 1. Okay, skip over the chain space, and here is our stitch. Go in, single crochet, chain 1. Get it? Skip over the chain 1 space and single crochet in the single crochet. If you know anything about the moss stitch, this is kind of like that, but in the moss, you single crochet in the chain 1 space and skip the single crochet. Here we are single crocheting in the single crochet and skipping the chain 1 space. So kind of similar, but the effect is quite different. Okay, this is where things get a little bit funky because I think this works better if we have odd number of stitches, but for the sake of this project, we had even number of stitches. And so that's why we have to kind of add an extra stitch. Okay, so you're going to work your final single crochet in that last one. So then we're going to do that one more time. You're going to chain 1. We're going to turn. Okay, so now for this row, in every single crochet, you're going to work a single crochet. Okay, just like we've been doing. Chain 1. Okay, you skip the chain 1 space and single crochet in the single crochet. Nothing new going on in this row. Okay, and end with a single crochet in that last single crochet stitch. So those are our 3 rows of mesh stitch. Now I'm going to show you how I do the 9 loop puff stitch. This one's really fun. You're going to chain 3 and turn. If you want, you can make that a stack double crochet or stack single crochet, to make a double crochet. But what we're going to do now is after our chain 3, we're going to do a puff in our chain 1 space. So before we worked our single crochet in that single crochet, but we're going to work in this space here, do a puff stitch. This is called a 9-loop puff stitch. There's others that are called a 7-loop puff stitch, but here's what we're going to have in the end. That's a puff stitch, okay? So in order to do that, we're going to be making a lot of loops, 9 loops, it's in the name. So you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into that chain 1 space, and then I do like a yarn under where I pull the yarn that way, because then I find it's easier to pull through all 9 loops at the end. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn under, pull it through. Okay, so we can count those. We just did it 2 times, and now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops on our hook. So we're going to do it 2 more times. Yarn over, insert, yarn under, pull through. Yarn over, insert, yarn under, pull through. Okay, now let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now you're going to yarn over and carefully pull through all 9 of those loops. I was able to do that well because I've done this many times. So if you need to practice, go for it. If you need to make your tension a little looser, go for it. Just keep practicing that. And then to close off the puff stitch, you do a chain 1. I tend to include that step in the puff stitch itself, and I don't put that out in my written instructions. So just know that my puff stitches, all of them assume that you're doing a chain 1. Then you're going to skip the single crochet space, and you're going to work your next puff stitch in the next chain 1 space. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. You do this a total of 4 times until you have 9 loops on your hook. Pull through all 9 of those loops and chain 1. All right. Find the next chain 1 space and start doing another loop. Yarn over, insert, yarn under, pull through. Yarn over, insert, yarn under, pull through. One more time. Yarn over, insert, yarn under, pull through. And pull through all 9 of those. Chain 1. Okay, we're doing this all the way across, my friends. Once you get in the flow of it, pretty easy, but I know that pulling through all 9 of those loops is a doozy. That's why I recommend 7. That's why I recommend you do this yarn under part to pull through. I just find that it's really makes it easier to pull through all of those loops. Okay, I'm going to show you the difference. Here I'm going to do yarn. I'm going to try to do yarn over for all of them if my muscle memory will let me. Okay, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through. Okay, so now I'm going to pull through all 9 of those. Oh, I guess it was kind of easy. Okay. Bad trick. Also, my tension's a little bit different. You see that? See, you can experiment with it and see what you think. Okay, here's one more. Then in this last single crochet, I'm going to do a double crochet. So that is our puff row. Okay, now we're going to move back to the mesh stitch, but this first row is going to be a little bit different as well. You're going to chain 1 and turn. And now I'm going to single crochet on top of the first puff stitch. In a sense, I am decreasing stitches, and that's all right. That's kind of what we want to do. And now I'm going to chain 1, and we're going to skip the space. And then on top of the puff stitch again, I'm going to single crochet, chain 1, insert, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1. Right, we're skipping the space, single crocheting on top of the puff, chain 1. Do that all the way across. So it's basically the same thing we're doing, but just going in a slightly different spot. Since we're working on top of those puff stitches. Then here is the last puff stitch. Let's work a single crochet on top of that last puff stitch, chain 1, and then single crochet on top of the chain 3 here. Then we're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to work a single crochet on top of all those single crochet stitches of that previous row. To the end, you chain 1, single crochet on top of that last one, and then chain 1 and turn. Single crochet on top of that single crochet, chain 1, skip the chain 1 space, single crochet on top of the single crochet, chain 1. All right, just do the mesh stitch again. Then I'll show you how we do the puff stitches, and then we'll be good. That was our third row of the mesh stitch. So now we're going to chain 3 and turn. All right, and then you just start doing your puff stitches again. You can rewind back to figure out how to do those puff stitches, and just continue repeating this until your desired length. And that is my fun Spumoni stitch. It was based off of the Porch and Picnic blanket. So I released the Porch and Picnic blanket in the Crochet Foundry magazine a few years ago. And the colors of it, a friend of mine named Julie, she was like, call your pattern Spumoni, because it looked like that dessert Spumoni that is pink and green and brown. I have a bookmark pattern, I have a ornament, and then now this section is Spumoni as well. Remember, just don't think too hard about it. If you need to add or subtract stitches here and there, do it to make it work. So what did you guys think of my Spumoni stitch section? Confusing? Fun? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. And I'd love to know, what crochet stitch would you like to learn next? Please like this video, share it, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Happy crocheting!